Oh man, nice little big night of boxing and MMA. Shout out to John Jones coming through with the victory. You know, some people say it's controversial, but it is what it is. He got the job done at the end of the day. Rigondeaux handled his business, came through with the W. When it comes to Rigondeaux, he's just because of his age. I mean, he's kind of one of those. It's just a fight by fight thing, man. It's hard to predict how he's going to come out and how he's going to perform just due to his age and the fact that he's literally in the twilight of his career right now. And like I said it before, too bad. I wish once his contract thing was over and he was released by Top Rank, I wish he had signed with Al Heyman right away. If he had did so instead of signing Rock Nation, I think his career would have went a lot differently than it did. But it is what it is. He made the choices he made. So what's happening is what's happening. But my hopes for him is that, honestly, people keep talking about him fighting these big tier fighters and he keeps calling these certain guys out. I don't think he should fight any of them. I think this level of competition, what he basically should fight, try to stay active, try to have like 4 fights a year, do the next 2 years, get yourself good, 7+ good fights where you make some good money. Then if you have like some kind of farewell big fight where things might not go necessarily good for you, do that and make a good amount of money and get out the game. So I hope that him being signed to Al Heyman, that's what they're doing with him. They're setting him up for retirement and for a long good retired life out of boxing. And when it comes to the finale, when it comes to the main event, Gary Russell was fighting Tuck, and Tuck is all right. I mean, a lot of people are trying to make him out to be like this great fighter and things like that. I saw him fight in person before. He's a good fighter, but when you're comparing him, let's say, to Gary Russell, there should be no competition. There shouldn't be anywhere near the same level whatsoever. Russell's supposed to be a fighter that's superior to this guy by a long shot. But one thing I will say about that guy, when I was over there though, when I was watching him fight, man, that boy, his people come deep. He got supporters for real. They had a whole huge giant section just closed off. Everybody rocking the same outfits. They had the flags out and everything. Like that boy, he got supporters for real. Don't start no problems with that dude during the match. Don't think that you're tough. You see him in the hallway, because if you do, about 80 people gonna jump on you and A-Town stomp you out. They gonna have a Mongolian stampede on your tail, and you don't want that. You know what I'm saying? You do not want that. So, but Gary Russell did his thing. He did all right. He came through with the victory. Both guys, they were landing. Both guys were landing shots. Both guys were missing a lot of shots. It ended up being a 12-round decision for Gary Russell. And in general, I'll say it's a good performance. You came out there. Some people said it was a close fight. Some people, said this was a really close fight. I don't think it was necessarily close like that. But I don't know. It's tough with this fight just due to the things that Gary Russell was saying. Normal, general type of situation, I would look at this and say, yo, you did your thing. You came out victorious. Hats off to you. That's what I usually would say. But, when people start saying certain things, there's certain levels of expectations then that you put onto yourself. When you're sitting there and you're trashing Gervonta Tank Davis because of the performance he had against Gamboa, a fight where he basically won almost every single minute of every single round, a fight where he put that man on the ground on multiple occasions, and you're gonna sit there and say, you see why, they don't want you to fight him. You see, that you'd whitewash him, you destroy him and this and that. You're saying all these things, and then you have a performance like that. Unfortunately, in that type of situation, you almost have to call your performance trash, just due to the expectations that we have for you, due to the things that you're saying. You can't trash Gervonta Tank Davis and the performance he had, and then called this fight a good performance. You can't do it. Tucker's a good fighter, but Tucker's not. It's not like he's one of these, creme de la creme fighters. It's not like he's one of those top tier fighters, that people would say is one of the best in the world in a division or anything like that. He's not that. You put him up against a Gamboa right now, with a heel Gamboa, he's not going to be a favorite against Gamboa. He's not. He's not going to be the favorite, especially since he'd have to be moved up in weight. Remember, Gervonta Tank Davis moved from 132, 135 to face Gamboa. So if that's the case, then there's certain things we're expecting from you. You shouldn't be getting touched with some of the shots that you're getting touched with. If that's what we're talking about. If you're putting yourself on that pedestal and on that level. A lot of shots that you were missing, you shouldn't have been missing those shots. And if the fight goes 12 rounds, there's still nothing wrong with that. But it should be a 12-round fight where that man is getting brutalized. Where he's getting the bricks beat out of him. And this is not expectations that I'm putting on Gary Russell. These are the expectations that have been put on by Gary Russell himself due to his comments. Because a lot of people had to say a lot of things about that Gamboa performance by Tank. He had a lot of things to say. We just saw the performance that he had. Tevin Farmer had a lot of things to say. We saw the performance he had against Diaz. When you start talking, when you start pointing your finger and you start spewing out whatever you're spewing out, negativity or whatever it is, when it's time for you to fight, you gotta show out. You gotta back it up with the things that you were saying by your performance, saying, hey, yeah, we saw your performance, and then we just saw what I just did to this guy. Tevin Farmer didn't do that with his performance. And I don't believe Gary Russell did it with his performance either. He had a good fight, where it was victorious. But was it that dominant performance that says, oh man, damn, yeah, he would beat the bricks out of somebody like a Tank. He would do this. It wasn't one of those performances. Because it's with Gervonta Tank Davis coming in out of, overweight, having to then make weight again. Despite him having certain issues inside of the ring, whether it be with stamina or physically not feeling right, he said, I don't know what's happening to my body. He was asking his trainer because he knew what the hell's going on. He still was able to bite down and handle his business. Pull it to another gear, pull something out from in here, and still put that man down and stop him. Still beat the bricks out of that man and stop him. It didn't matter who showed up there. It didn't matter that was that Gamboa showed up that night. One of his best performances, or one of his best physical conditions, I guess you could say. Before his little leg injury or whatever it is. It didn't matter. Tank still did what he needed to do at the end of the day. And people trash him all the time, but at the end of the day, he still dominates. It still shows what he's made of, regardless if he's doing all these other things on the side. So now Gary Russell, he needs to make moves. He said he's going to move up to 130, 135, whatever it is for his next fight. If he doesn't get the Santa Cruz fight, which we believe that Tank is going to be getting the Santa Cruz fight. So since that's going to be the case, it's time for him to stop talking and start making moves. And unfortunately, they asked him if he was going to go to these other people's fights. And he said no, he's not going to go to the fights, rather spend time with his family. Well, if you're not willing to do the things outside of the ring to push the narrative and to push into a space to get these particular fights, then you can't cry and bitch about it. Earl Spence went to all these fights. Deontay Wilder went to all these particular fights. He went to he went to fights just in general. It doesn't have to be that particular person's fights. He went to fights so he could be in front of the media, so he can have narratives put out there, so he can talk, so people can see his face, and he was active. Earl Spence went to these other fighters' fights. He went to Keith Thurman's fight. He went to Sean Porter's fight. He went to Danny Garcia's fights. And you see where he is now. So, good job. Congratulations. But now it's time for you to stop talking all the damn time about what you're going to do and start doing it. Whether it be going after Shakur Stevenson at 126 or go at the 130 Drop your belt, go to 130, take that belt from Burchelt, or move up. Move up to 135, like you said, and fight the guys that you need to fight in order to put yourself into a position where you're one of these guys mandatories, where they have to fight you. And you have the WBC belt, so it's probably very easy for you to do that. Where after Devin Haney fights to, gets his belt back, or fights for his belt and gets his belt back, where then boom, all of a sudden, you're next in line. You being with the WBC, you can easily do that. Unless you want to go to IBF route or whatever it is, the IBF route or the WBA route. But stop talking and make moves to do the things that you said you're gonna do, and to put you into the position to get those particular fights that you want to make. Because just talking isn't gonna do it. But you actually can do things to get one of those fights. So it's time to stop talking, which I've said like 50 times, but it needs to be said again. Time to start walking. Like, subscribe, share. I'm out.